I want to come to you with a question. At the last debate, you mocked Mr. Trump for being flexible. With so much gridlock in Washington, how can you expect to lead the country and get things done if you aren't willing to show flexibility?
Well, I think you can be flexible about ideas. You shouldn't be flexible about your principles. About when it comes to ideas and working with people, I have a record of having done that. Listen, on the issue of higher education, I'm the only one that continually talks about student loan debt because I owed over $100,000 of student loan debt. So I know this is a major issue, and all my ideas that deal with higher education are bipartisan. The VA Accountability Act that I passed, I did it on a bipartisan basis. The sanctions that I imposed on Hezbollah, I did it on a bipartisan basis. The Girls Count Act that deals with human trafficking, we did that on a bipartisan basis. But I also want to be frank. There are issues we're going to have an election over. When it comes to repealing and replacing Obamacare, that's not going to be bipartisan. When it comes to reducing the tax burdens on Americans, that's not going to be bipartisan. When it comes to shrinking the size of the federal bureaucracy, that's probably not going to be bipartisan. There are issues we can work together on, and we should, but there are fundamental issues about the proper role of government, and on those issues, I will fight anyone who wants to expand government, raise taxes, or weaken our military.
Mr. Trump, I want to give you a chance to respond, but specifically, you talked about flexibility, and one of the examples you gave was the height of the border fence. What are some of the other issues on which you're willing to show flexibility?
It depends on what comes up. You never know. It depends on what comes up. Look, we had a great president, Ronald Reagan. We had Tip O'Neill, Speaker. And what do? We take these two men that are very, very different men. They got along, they had relationships, and they got things done, and very beautifully. Nobody's complaining about the deals that Ronald Reagan made, and he made it with Tip O'Neill. We need to have people get together and work good deals out from our standpoint. And I'll tell you this. It can be done. We don't want to continue to watch people signing executive orders because that was not what the Constitution and the brilliant designers of this incredible document had in mind. We need people that can make deals and can work. Because right now in Washington, there's total, absolute gridlock.
Thank you, sir. I want to go to Governor Kasich on this issue of flexibility, sir.
Well, look, my record speaks for itself. What I talk about tonight is not theory. These are things that I've done. I was there when we reformed the Pentagon on a bipartisan basis to give control to the commanders in the field and force the services to work together. I was the chief architect, along with Senator Domenici, of the last time we balanced the budget and the first time since we walked on the moon. I was there when I worked on the welfare reform in Washington, and we got it done, and we eliminated the entitlement on welfare. I then went to Ohio and took Ohio from a basket case, working on a bipartisan basis to reform many things, including the Cleveland Public Schools, working with the Democratic mayor. My problem isn't that people don't know this. They say, well, what does that mean? Does that mean you're too easy? Well, let me tell you, when we did the balanced budget, we cut the capital gains tax. We provided a family tax credit. We shrunk the government. In my state, the state of Ohio has the smallest government in the state of Ohio in 30 years. Conservative principles will work, but show respect to the other side. One final thing. In regard to Social Security, we will not get that done alone. We will have to have some responsible Democrats who will come in to fix the problem of Social Security. I know how to do it because I've done it, and I'll do it again.
Thank you, Governor.